Thank you, Sam. And here's a question. Would you follow your conscience even if it meant losing your job or facing death threats? 4 men and women in California State Assembly did just that, reaching across party lines to broker a deal they believe would have remedied the state's crippling budget crisis. The plan failed, but their bravery is being recognized today with the Profile and Courage Award. We're joined by Carolyn Kennedy, who is going to be presenting the awards, and 2 of the recipients, Assemblyman Mike Valines and Madam Speaker Karen Bass. Welcome to all of you this morning. And Karen, let me begin with you. Here was a budget deal that was addressing a crisis in California that's just been crippling the state for some time. Republicans said, okay, fine, we're going to take some tax hikes. Democrats got more spending cuts than they wanted, yet the plan failed. Why still present the award?
Well, I think it's an example for legislators across the country, and also for Americans, that we really need to get serious about solving the problems that our country faces. People realize that these problems are incredibly serious, and unless we begin to work together and reach across party lines, everybody has to give up something, and then we reward the people who do that and have the courage to compromise. We're not going to be able to solve these problems. So we felt that their process, their effort, as difficult as it was, set a great example and was really inspiring in these times when people are worried about the excessive partisanship in our politics.
Assemblyman Valines, you're getting this award, but you certainly did pay a price. You lost your job.
Well, I did lose my job, but, I think it was an important thing to do, and I think much of what Caroline just said is important. I think the country is just yearning for folks that are trying to solve problems and put some of that partisanship aside, especially in these times that are so trying. People are struggling in America, and they're struggling in California, and I think the 4 of us decided, working with Governor Schwarzenegger, that we would do the best that we could to move the partisanship aside and actually try to solve the problem. And, it wasn't the easiest thing, but I think it was the right thing to do.
And Madam Speaker, a lot of your colleagues in the Assembly also paid a price, especially some of your Republican colleagues there in the Assembly. They received death threats?
Yes, absolutely, they did. And I think that was so unfortunate. And frankly, that was a matter of talk radio shows that whipped people up into a frenzy, intentionally misled people. And I think that's one of the things that contributes to people's cynicism right now.
And what do you say, though, to both of you, to those on your own side who say, wait a second, we're angry for a reason. We believe these are sacrifices we shouldn't have to make. Assemblyman?
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Terry.
Well, I do think, though, that there should be a responsibility and that people should understand we were in the worst recession since the Great Depression. And that's where I think, frankly, that the radio shows could have been helpful in explaining how dire the consequences have been of this recession. It wasn't just a matter that people along. We really faced a very difficult challenge.
And still do face a very difficult challenge. So, Assemblyman Valines, where does California go from here?
Well, I'm hopeful, just to dovetail on the question you had also, that I think that people count on us when we're elected to know all the facts and do the best that we can and solve the problems. Not everyone's going to know how bad it was and what we needed to do, and that's okay. Where we need to go now, I think, as a state, is to come together and realize that by coming together we can solve these problems better. There can't be Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party anymore. Not in this crisis. We have to come out of it. I think a spending cap is critical to the state. I think there's a lot of things that we need to do. But the first thing is to live within our means, have the legislature work for the people. And I know that sounds easy, but oftentimes we think it's about us when we're elected, and it's not. It's about the people. It's about the single mom, the single dad who's counting on us to do our job. And it's about the businesses who need a reliable state so they can employ more people. Where we need to go is to get our fiscal house in order so that the great state of California can shine some more, and we will.
Caroline, your Uncle Teddy, I think, exemplified the kind of actions you're trying to reward today. A fierce partisan when he had to be, stood up for his beliefs, yet willing to reach out and make a deal when he thought he could make an advance for people. Is that really what you're trying to, what do you think he would have said about these recipients and their accomplishments today?
Well, he was really the spirit behind this award. He believed in it. He believed in public service and all the people who are working on both sides of the aisle at all levels of government, and that politics is really the art of the possible. And I think he recognized that there are times when you have to fight for what you believe in and stand alone if necessary, and other times when the courageous thing to do is really reach out and take others with you and show the way. And I think that's something that he would have really appreciated so much about today's honorees, and I feel that he's looking down on this, and I think the committee really felt that this was one that he would really particularly have appreciated.
We're just about out of time, but this summer will be the one-year anniversary of your Uncle Teddy's death. How are Vicki and the rest of your family doing now?
Well, Vicki is here today, and I think she's been a wonderful supporter of this award and this library, and so obviously she's incredibly strong, and I think, it's a big loss for all of us. It's a big loss for our country. We have a big family, and so I think we're all helping each other, and I think Teddy always believed in kind of going forward and looking ahead, and I think that's really the spirit that he left us, and so that's a nice way to continue his work.
It is. Well, thank you for joining us today. Congratulations to both winners of the Profiles in Courage Award.
Thank you.
You all can read the inspiring stories of other Profiles in Courage Award winners on our website at abcnews.com. And when we come back, Jake Gyllenhaal